Hey, it's Aaron, and today I'm with a 2022 Mercedes-Benz Sprinter. This is the 2500. It is the 3/4 ton Sprinter van. Has a couple of add-ons, the extended roof, and there's a headache wall between the driver and front passenger and the rest of the van. It's a cargo van. This is a commercial vehicle. Under the hood is a 3-liter diesel engine, and then there's a 7-speed automatic transmission. It is all-wheel drive, primarily runs front-wheel drive, but runs all-wheel drive as needed. This is a wonderful commercial vehicle. I'm surprised at how good it is. It's extremely comfortable to be in, and it's a 3/4 ton with all the capabilities that implies. Has a towing kit, has a huge cargo box back there that I can stand up in. Very comfortable front seating, and interesting suite of electronics in there. And the entire package, as we're looking at it right here, is only about $57,000. That's pretty nuts, because on today's market, you'll have a hard time finding a 3/4 ton pickup truck for that, let alone a giant cargo van. So let's go over it. We'll talk about what it looks like. We'll get in the back and talk about that a little bit, and I'll talk to you about what's inside and what it's like to drive it. All right, you can see how big it is. I have the camera a long ways away from it to cover the whole thing. When I walk into the picture, you're going to be amazed at the size of this thing. I'll talk a little bit about design, but there's not a whole lot to talk about. It's a square box with 4 wheels on it. It's a commercial vehicle. It's made for a purpose. There's really not a whole lot of design going on. You can see where windows would be. If this was the passenger version, that big cutout right there in the middle would be cut out. You could potentially have a sliding door on this side as well as the other side. And so you get an idea of it. You can see where the roof would be. It would be just above that line up there before the extension was added on, so it would be right about right here. So to give you an idea how big this thing is. This will fit under bridges. It is under 13 feet high. In fact, I think it's about 12'3". I'm not 100% on that, but I'm pretty sure that's what it is. So wonderful setup. You can see the look of it. This color is okay, I guess. At least it's not, like at least it's not like creeper white, right? So I guess you got that. But you can get it in a whole section of colors. You can see they did some basic design work to try to make it look a little better. So you got this plastic add-on running along here. You got a few body lines right here. There's a little dip right here to change the light as it splashes, and that's mirrored with that top cap that was added on. And just a few other small details, but for the most part, this is a working vehicle. The function makes the form on it. So interestingly, like a lot of vans like this, the front door opens like that. That's as far as it goes. It does not open to 90. I don't think you need that. This is a very easy entry right here. The seat is right on it. Now, you do have to climb in. That's why the step right here. This step is great for climbing in, not so good for climbing out. It's a little bit awkward. And then your fuel port is right back here. Like I said before, this is diesel. To fill the DEF, you actually have to open up the front up there, but you're not going to have to do it very often, and there's a gauge on the dashboard that tells you where the level of that is, right next to the fuel gauge. Awful convenient for that. A little bit of storage. You have a pocket down here you could throw a clipboard or something into. One up here you could do the same. Drink holder right there. 4 drink holders across there. 2 really big ones, 2 smaller ones. So if you're into energy drinks, there's 2 that are just about the right size for that. I'll show you some more interior in a minute, and maybe a couple of photos. But I love the interior on this compared to, say, the Ram ProMaster. It does have a couple of the other downers that I didn't like about the ProMaster. They're also here. So right here, this pillar, right here, it cuts this mirror right about there when you're sitting in a normal driving position. That's really annoying. I would think that one of these companies would have noticed that, and then they would either delete this altogether or move it so that that's not a problem. These side mirrors are adequate, but not great. You do have a backup camera, but you do not have there's a rear view mirror in here, but you can't see anything because of the wall and the lack of windows. So there's no seeing out the back. Makes it a little difficult to maneuver, but not bad, because look at that overhang. It's very short. This has a pretty good turning radius for the size that it is. So overall, very impressed with all of that. Let's go around and look at the working end and the cargo area. I'll show you the sliding door too, and then we'll get inside of it. So at the back of it here, you can see Sprinter 2500. That is that's the vehicle, right? So 3/4 ton. You can see the towing down here. Pretty neat little setup. The doors themselves, these can have, obviously, you could have windows in here. The doors themselves open to several points all the way up to almost flat with the side. I'll show you that. This opens, so you can open it to right there. There's a stop. Right there is the next stop. And all the way back here is the next one. Now, interestingly, this one does not open quite as wide as that one does. Pull the little handle here to release the latch. Stop right there. Whoops, it kept going past it. There is a stop right here. And then it comes all the way back. There's two stops. One like this, which is where the other one is, and one like this, which is more flat against the vehicle. So, the doors, that makes them very useful. You can back it up to a dock, whatever you need to do. On the inside, getting in, you see the grab bar? Useful. The inside, I'm standing up straight. I'm not bent over at all. I still have a couple inches right there, right? That much. That's a good 5.5, 6 inches. That's a lot of space in here. There's lighting, LEDs here and here. You can also add, there's options for LEDs across here. There is one right here. You can get them going across, up and down, whatever. This side, since there is no sliding door on this particular build, but it is set up to have one if you need it. This side could be a sliding door, or curbside, and this one is the sliding door. You can have this headache rack or wall or not, up to you. You could have a pass-through door in it. That's also an option. Other options include more lighting, like I said, plugs for utility. You can get this with an inverter so that you have 110 back here. Lots of little things like that. This floor is an add-on option. They call it wood, sort of, but it's really a laminate. And it's just a gray color, and it's non-slip. So, but there's tons of tie downs in here. There's 2 D-hooks right there. 2 more right there. So that's 6 in all so far. 1 right there, 1 right there, and then 2 more on this back wall. So that's a total of 10 tie down points on the floor. You can also add tie down points to the frame if you want them. There are plenty of just random holes that you could hook some straps into if you need to. But if you want more utility, more capability, then you can go right onto the structure with some extra tie downs. You can do racks, you could put tools and equipment in here, all kinds of things. This is great. And then, of course, if you're into overlanding, you could turn this into a camper van with the proper upfitter. So tons of options here. A couple things I don't like. The first one is there's very little ventilation back here. I would add vents up here to give you some sort of ventilation. Also, the sliding door feels hokey. You push down this button and slide, and then to shut it, you really have to want it to shut. If I didn't do it that hard, it would not have shut all the way. And then you're up there in front with a constant beeping because one of the doors is open. Other than that, though, this is a really good setup. Compared to the Ram ProMaster, it's probably about even. You can do just about as much with either one. This is wide enough right here when it's open all the way that you could put in a pallet on a forklift to set it right down on here. Same back here, it's even wider. You can fit even more. You have more than 4 feet between these wheel wells, so there's plenty of space to set things down. So great cargo van as it is right here. So just really quick, I want to show you the sliding door on this. From outside, it opens pretty okay. It's pretty easy. Opens that far, so you can see, like I said, you can get a pallet in here pretty easily. Just drive it right up here with a forklift and drop it. That door stays very secure once open, so I wouldn't see any worries there. The only worry I have is how difficult it is to make sure it shuts. So if I just do like I would want to do with a van like this, like that, it's still open. There's a little gap right here. And if I start up the vehicle, it's going to start dinging at me incessantly about this being open. You really have to give it some oomph. You have to really shove it. Takes a little, I mean, that probably didn't look like much, but I'm a big dude. It takes a little bit of effort to get this door to shut all the way. And I keep finding myself double checking to make sure it's flush, that it's actually shut. A little bit of annoyance, but not totally. You'll get used to that pretty quick. Let's go get inside and check that out. So inside the van here, really nice layout. It's comfortable to sit. I have lots of adjustment. They're on the door like most Mercedes. I was reaching for them automatically. They're over here. Lots of adjustment. Also, you have your jack and other your emergency utensils under here. You also have a spot over there where you can put a fire extinguisher, a few other little things that need to be in here. You have overhead storage bins above these because of this extended roof. And then you, of course, have these huge, sun visor things. So, air conditioning in this is pretty good. It is mostly manual, so you will have to tell it how fast the fan you want it and stuff. You can set a temperature, and it will attempt to hold that temperature. But it's more on you to control the fan than the van itself. The infotainment is really good. This is Mercedes upgrade, so it's an upgrade on this package. Total upgrades on this are about, I want to say $2,500. We'll go over a Monroney in a minute. Dashboard, very easy to read. These are physical gauges with just very little in the way of electronics right in the middle. Usual Mercedes layout on the wheel, so you have cruise control and stuff over here, volume and other stuff for that over there. This particular package has navigation, also kind of useful, and because it's the new MBUX, you don't have to put in the navigation information. You can just tell it, talk to it. So you can do it on the road. You don't have to look away or pull over and park to do that. That's pretty cool. Lighting is down here. Mostly I just set it to auto and let it do its thing. You have a parking brake control. It's electronic. This by default comes with a manual park brake, but you can upgrade to the electronic one, which is cool because it auto releases when you shift into gear, things like that. So it takes a little bit of the work weight off of whoever's operating. There is seat heating in these front seats, and a couple of other details. You can fold the mirrors in and stuff. Those are all upgrades that I'll show you on the Monroney. Overall, very comfortable interior. Lots of moving around options, for whatever. Has a rear view mirror up here that's totally useless because you cannot see through anything and through the back. So I just bent it up and out of the way so it's not reflecting anything, and I still have clear vision through here. A little bit of storage on the dash, including some cup holders that I would never actually use, but they're up there. Yeah. Really nice layout in here. This is a very comfortable drive, surprisingly good, actually. It's amazingly quiet. My wife and I did a not really a road trip, but we were on the highway for about an hour each way, driving down, and I was really surprised how quiet it is in here with the doors shut, going on the highway at highway speeds. There really isn't a whole lot of road noise and other stuff coming in at you. Again, that's a big bonus for driver fatigue. In a vehicle like this as a working vehicle, it's an unusual trait that really does help with driver fatigue. Having driven over the road, I can tell you the loud, constant noise in the cabin is not helpful. That's why you end up with hearing loss, because you crank the radio to cover it up or whatever. Easy to drive, pedals are simple and intuitive. It's got a really good turning radius for the size. Just overall, for driving, it's great. Not a whole lot of complaints. The one complaint I do have, I'll show you in a minute, and that's getting out. I'll just show you right now. I don't know why I paused like I was going to cut scene. I'm not going to cut scene. So stepping down, the step is in an awkward spot, and I know I'm wearing flip-flops, but this is true even in regular shoes. And then you have to do this, and you have to kind of hold on to stuff. That's a little annoying. If this stuck out a little more, maybe it would be helpful. I don't know if I'm looking at the camera or not, but I'm talking to you. So, yeah, let's talk price tags and wrap this all up. Like I said, I was even wrong on the price. It's $55,600 delivered as is, not $57,000. So it's even cheaper than I told you. I should be selling these things. Holy crap. Anyway, base price $42,635 for this particular package, which is the 144 inch. That's talking about the roof and the other stuff. 3-liter diesel, 7-speed transmission, etc., etc. For add-ons, you can see right here, optional equipment. To add the wood floor back there with the extra D-rings, $418. Totally would pay for that. That's cheap. Extra rear doors with the hinges that open to 270 degrees, $356. I would also totally pay for that. Acoustic package, which brings down some of the sound in here. Totally worth it at only $86. I would completely pay for that. Basic comfort package. Now that's where you're changing some of the interior for the drive quality and such. $270. I think I would pay for that. Now, adding to that with the Comfort Plus, which updates your infotainment and a few other things, that's a little pricier at $1,900. That's the one where you can go, maybe I wouldn't want to pay for that. And then you have $1,700 in delivery. So, all in all, this is super cheap at less than $56,000. This is super cheap for what you're getting. This is an amazingly good commercial van. So, yeah. I don't know what else I'm going to tell you, so I'm just going to stop talking. This has been Aaron, 2022 Mercedes-Benz Sprinter 2500. Talk to you again soon.